I gotta move this over here so you can hear me. I'm starting off this morning again with yet another song because that's just what I do. You know that? I sit here and I'm like, I'm just gonna sing. Now, I have to figure out a couple of things before we go any farther because, hello, Tiggy, Lauren, and Linda. I am having a morning and a half. And if I don't know, sometimes like when I'm in a funk and I talk about it, it's because I just want y'all to know that you're not alone. So if you have a funky and you're having a day and you just feel like you're the only one that does that, you're not, because I am experiencing that myself. So I'm sitting there and I'm like getting ready and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then I look down at my watch or my phone and I'm like, I can't believe what time it is. I cannot believe this. So I'm like scurrying around and I'm trying to figure out the coloring. And I'm wearing my glasses today because I don't feel like wearing my contacts. And when I wear my contacts, I can't have my lighting the same. So I want to make sure that I'm bright for you. And I did, oh my gosh, I found myself getting into such a rut with my outfits. And today is Thursday, and we always talk about fashion on Thursday, and we got some great stuff that we're going to be talking about. But I found myself this morning, like when I was getting prepared to get ready and I was thinking about an outfit I was going to wear, I found myself going to the exact same thing that I've been wearing for like the last week. And it was like this little comfort zone outfit. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, Lonnie, you already are like kind of in a funk kind of mood. Not a bad mood, but just kind of like a heavy energy mood. So I woke up first thing this morning and I arm wrestled my inner voice and I got it under control. And then I'm sitting there and I'm trying to figure out what to wear. And I'm like, no, you got to shake it up, Lonnie. You got to just keep your energy fresh. You got to keep on moving. You got to just keep on keeping. And I picked an outfit that was a little bit different. Hold on. I think I want to lighten that up just a smidgen. Yeah, I like that much better. So I picked out an outfit that was totally different and totally different than what I have been wearing. And it's this cute little top and a pair of my Free People Osaka jeans. So let me show you that. So I just have on this outfit and it made me kind of like, it just made, I'm trying to figure out if the light's reflecting in my glasses, but it just helped me break that cycle of just feeling like I was in a rut. Then also too, I did my makeup just a little bit different and I went a little bit darker with my makeup. I have a blue on because again, I'm just trying to break up the cycle of not being in a rut. Sandra says, love the top. This is a cute little top that I bought from Urban Outfitters probably 3 years ago. And I got it and I was like, it's a little bit shorter than I'm used to wearing because I like my tank tops to cover my little midriff sometimes. But the thing is that these little shorter tank tops, like the one that I'm wearing today, are perfect with high-waisted pants. So I know myself being over 50, I was like, I'm not going to wear a crop top. I'm not going to wear a top that's higher than I'm comfortable with. But I have found a real need and a real necessity for them because they're perfect, like I said, with a high-waisted pant. And I think that it fits perfectly with these pants because had I had a tank top that was any longer, it wouldn't fit right. It would be like too much material. So if you are shying away from tank tops that are a little bit shorter than what you're used to wearing, don't do that. Grab some, have them in your closet for that occasion, and I think that they're perfect for that. That is my opinion, and I am sticking to it. So I wanted to let you know, hold on here. Okay, I was wondering if Robert's door was shut. Now, did any of you join up for that new Instagram app? The one that it's called Threads, and it's supposed to be like Instagram version of Twitch. No, Twitter of Twitter. Because I jumped on it yesterday. I was like, hey, yeah, you know what? I'll jump on a new app, and I got on there, and it is like a flood of people, but so far it's really cool. And I've never been a big Twitter user. I've always found it kind of like hostile, maybe. There's a lot of not a whole lot of kindness on there. Hello, I hate myself. Aw, I hopefully that you really don't, and but I really like the little thumbnail picture. But I have found, it's new, it's shiny, everybody's over there, everybody's nice. I absolutely 100% joined. Yeah, Tiggy says censorship city. There's a whole lot of just blah that goes with that platform, and I am really hoping that it just becomes a forum where you can just, you can put a picture and just be like, hey, here's my day, or here's this thought, or something like that. So they are kind of marketing themselves for the whole, like, hey, you know what, this is going to be a kind place to have a forum to post your opinion. I really hope it sticks that way. I mean, I'm a realist, and I know that there's going to be. Can you do me a favor? Can you let her out through my room? Thank you. I know that there's going to be instances where people are going to be not so kind, but that's okay. You know what? They don't affect my day, and they don't affect how I portray my platform. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to jump on there, and I've already posted a couple of things, and it's fun. And the reason that I bring that up, and Tiggy, this is for you, because tomorrow is going to be a day that Fridays are really just kind of like whatever we feel like doing kind of days. And I'm going to do one on social media tips, like easy ways to add text over your TikToks or your Reels or your Shorts. I'll talk about that new platform. Just easy tips and tricks, because personally, I think social media has helped me find my confidence in my style. And I think if you go into it with that kind of like idea of like, I'm going to post something, I'm going to put something out here on the internet, and I'm doing it for myself and for this reason, it really becomes very empowering. And I hear over and over and over again about how, like, I would love to post something, but I'm scared of the negative comments I might get. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more tomorrow, but you have to look at the big picture. And the big picture is that you're letting the potential of perhaps a negative comment that's not going to affect your life stop you from doing something you want to do. So it's the fear of what might happen stops us from even trying. So we're going to dive into that a little bit more tomorrow, because I think it's a really fun thing. I know Connie, she's on here a lot. Connie German Girl, I'm sure you've seen her. She started over on TikTok not too long ago, and she is all over TikTok. I mean, she's on my For You page all the time. And I think what I like most about that is she's just living her authentic self. She's all like, yeah, this is me, and I'm doing this. I'm having fun. You want to join me? Join me. You don't. And I take real inspiration from her because of that. And just her sense of freedom is very refreshing. So tomorrow we're going to be talking way more about that. And I'll be doing some like filming, like actually putting some text on some TikToks, and I'll film that so that way it's a tutorial for you all to make it nice and easy. And then tomorrow, another thing about tomorrow too, I'm so excited for tomorrow. Can you tell? I am going to download something, or I'm going to find some app, or I'm going to find something. But on Fridays, we are going to turn into junior detectives. And we're going to like to solve a mystery. And I think that this is going to be super fun because we all like true crime podcasts. We've said it over and over again. And I think that that would just be a fun thing to do. So we're going to start doing that tomorrow. But today we are talking about fashion. Fashion, fashion, fashion. And you know what? Here's the thing. It's like once you get on social media and you get over that fear of what people are going to think about you, you can do whatever you want. You can be as goofy as you want. You can sing in front of, you can sing on YouTube live. I mean, I can't sing, but you know what? I sure as heck can have fun pretending like I can. Oh, so really quick, have any of you, hello, Kelly, have any of you seen the Netflix biography that came out yesterday about Wham? Because my gosh, that is like the music that I grew up in. And I mean, it was like the years that they were doing. It's like in 1982. I'm like, oh, I graduated high school in 1982. And it talked about how they started and their friendship. And I mean, truthfully, it like it brought a little tear to my eye that, you know, they did so much in such a short time, and there was like no animosity when they went their separate ways. And it's a great documentary. And if you remember Wham at all, or if you want to learn about music and how it developed in the 80s, I mean, it was a good hour spent. And it reminded me of MTV. And I totally forgot about how impactful music videos were back then and how they got their concept of their video. They got their concept of their song told through video. And I know that there's, I'm sure it still exists. I don't know. I don't have real TV. Saw the ad, but haven't clicked on it yet. Kelly, I think you'll enjoy it. It was, like I said, for me, it was really interesting. But, you know, like I said, I'm sure MTV still exists, but it not in the same form and fashion. And I was thinking how interesting social media is now, because we can take these songs and we can interpret them however we want. I mean, music plays very heavily on my platform, and I can hear a song and I can interpret it one way and represent it that way. And it might be totally different than the way that the artist represents it. And even if they do their own TikToks or shorts or reels, it's 15 seconds. So they get 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute to represent what their song means. So it just was really interesting to me to see how it has progressed and how just communication in itself has changed in that I say short amount of time, because it really wasn't that long ago. So my recommendation, if you're not doing anything later today, click on Netflix, watch the Wham episode, and just get ready to walk down memory lane, because I have been listening to Wham music now, and I'm like, yeah, this was some good music. That's what I'm going to say about that. So Threads is a thing, and Wham, you are still a thing in my heart. Yep, that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, so what we're going to do is what I started off, and what I am going to do is I want to show you something that I did. I am restoring a pair of my old Doc Martens, and I want to show you. Hi, all, excited to be here live for the first time. Hello, Claire. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Claire. So this is a very safe space. Feel free to ask questions, leave comments. We are all here to support each other, and we do a great job doing so. So I needed to restore a older pair of Doc Martens, and I want to show you how I did it, because these you can buy old pairs of Doc Martens on Poshmark, and you can make them look new again. because I bought these for $35. And let me show you what they look like. Because, I mean, in the description on Poshmark, it was like, yeah, no, they're scuffed up, they're beat up, and they were not lying about that one bit. So let me show you right here. And again, my screen is not working. All right, we are going to get to the bottom of this because this is driving me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And we are going to come over here, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go, nope, that didn't work, that didn't work. And I am not going to make you have to watch me fiddle around with my screen here for long because I did that last time and it drove me crazy, and I don't want to do that to you again. So we're going to take this over here. We're going to see if I can't fix it real quick. And if I can't, then well, you know what? We're just going to move along because it's just that one of those kind of days. So one more attempt at a split screen. And if this doesn't work, because I thought I figured out how to do that. And again, I have been sitting here thinking that it's full screen and it's not full screen. So, okay. Well, again, we're going to roll with the punches because I'm not going to get obsessed with it like I did last time. Because last time, after I finished, I was like, Lonni, you spent a whole lot of time trying to show them something, and they probably got bored while you were trying to figure it out. Let's see here. Tiggy says, my docs are like super shiny pink. I'd love an old pair to paint. I say go to Poshmark and get a pair because the pair that I got were, let's see here. I am going to show you, and I know that this isn't as a professional way as I like to show you, but it's still going to get the job done and you're going to get an idea of what I'm talking about. So this right here is, hold on. So clearly nothing is working for me today. But again, you know what? This is okay because I'm not going to stress over it because that's just what we do. We don't stress over things today. Today is all about not stressing. Okay, so these right here, these were my docs. See how scuffed up they are? See the, that right there, that white part, they had lost all of their leather. All of their leather was gone. And for $35. And in the description, it was like, yeah, these are pretty messed up. You know, you can take them, you can try to restore them and all that good stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I know how to do this. I know how to restore Doc Martens. So that is exactly what I did. And here's what they look like right now. And I'm going to show you what I did and how I did it because they were cheaper than a pair of boots that you can get like at Target or Marshall's or anything like that. And it's going to take another round of what I did, and that's why I saved it for today. But what I used is I didn't use black shoe polish. I used a product from Doc Martens called Dubbin, Dubbin. There you go. Dubbin. We are really dubbin. I don't know why I'm singing again. So this is a product that has no color. So you can use this on any pair of Doc Martens you want, whether they're brown, whether they're black. Linda says, I rescued a few pair from the thrift for my partner, but not as many as there used to be. See, I have found some Doc Martens at some resale shops, and they are expensive. I mean, they're still like $80. And when I was on Poshmark, I was very conscientious because I didn't want to spend over $50. So I kind of gave myself a challenge. And the challenge paid off because, again, I found these for $35. Now, the whole question is going to be, press here to open. So you got to press here to open, and it works. Okay, so here's a little thing. I already told you I woke up in a funk, and I'm sitting here and I'm trying to open up this dubbin, and I could feel my temperature rising because I was getting really frustrated with myself. I was like, you know what? First, my picture in picture didn't work. Now I can't open this, and I told myself, I'm like, you know what, Lonnie, chill out. And so as soon as I told myself that, I looked down and it says press here to open. So I'm sitting here and I'm getting myself all worked up and I'm all mad over something because I didn't look down to figure out how to open it up. Again, this is a learning lesson on how to just give yourself a break sometimes. And sometimes you just need to look down. So this is what that dubbin looks like. It looks like, I'm going to call it grease. That is exactly what it looks like. It looks like bacon grease. And this you can use on any color of their boots. And what you do is you take your boot, and I did this before I started, and you take a dry cloth and you clean it off because you want to remove any dirt. You don't really want to rub that dirt in. So I cleaned it off like that. And once it was all clean, you take your little dubbin product and like this, and you put it on the rag, and you get a fair amount on. I mean, you can see it right there. So you put your grease right there, and you put it right over your boot, and you basically you're gonna do your entire boot. But the area that was all scuffed up, that had lost all of its color, it's like a miracle. It's like the color just comes back from somewhere. And your boot, see, here's the thing. A black Doc Martin boot on the outside is a black Doc Martin boot on the inside. It's a good quality boot, and the color is not just painted on. So what it does is it basically like just kind of sucks the color back up to the top. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. But I'm sitting here and I'm still just rubbing it in. And this is the second application of this product. And you put it all on, and you got to let it dry. But tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that this looks incredibly, unless you actually look and you're like, I wonder if there's any scuffs on her shoe, you can't see it. And again, I paid $35 for these, and I keep on saying that, but they are the least expensive pair of Doc Martens I've ever bought. They were the most beat up pair of Doc Martens I've ever bought. And yeah, I got a bargain for $35. Absolutely. And some of the other ones, I found them on there. I had a couple in my cart. I'm doing the other boot while we talk, by the way. I had some other ones in my cart that were very similar, and they were like $50. And I would have gone up to $50 because I needed these to do a project, but I was not going to spend over $50. And their condition was, truthfully, they were in a little bit better condition, but I knew that I could bring these back. Tiggy says they are all over $100 so far that I'm seeing on Poshmark. Yeah, and you know what? And here's the thing is about Poshmark, they're going to put whatever price they're going to put. They're going to put $100. And if somebody's willing to pay that, they're going to be like, yeah, that's awesome. You know, if you want to, go ahead and just give them an offer. Be like, hey, I'll give you $50 for that. And they can either say yes or they can say no. But I used to have a Poshmark myself, and I 100% never put my bottom line of a price for something that I wanted. So you can just be like, I'll give you this. And I didn't bargain on these, or I didn't be like, hey, will you take 25 instead of 35? Because they were already such a lowered price. Claire says, I've been wearing Docs for 34 years. How is it possible I buy them used from eBay? I'm in the UK and some people buy them new, but I can't wear them in. The newest pairs are animal print and I love them. How is that possible? But I buy them used from eBay. Yeah. You have a hard time breaking them in? I did notice that these are broken in. But for me, it's like there, that's the second one. This side, this is the right side shoe. This one was more heavily damaged than the left shoe. So, but I still think that it looks really good. I thought about that when I was buying them, Claire. I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't have to break these in, but I've gotten really good at breaking in Doc Martens. And I use another product from Doc Martens called Wonder Balm. And what that is, that softens up your leather. Where the dubbin will actually polish and bring your boots back to life. The Wonder Balm, you can sit there and you can put the Wonder Balm on the outside, but if you also put it on the inside and then you move up your boot, it will help break that in. Claire says, no, I mean because other people can't break them in. You know what? People can't break them in, Claire, because I think people buy the wrong size Doc Martens. And that is like such a controversy, but I 100% people are always, I think they're buying the wrong size because they're like, my shoe rubs. I can't get my shoe from rubbing. And I'm like, that's because your shoes are too big. If you had your shoes in the right size, once they break in, they should not rub. Or they sit there and they get like a really hard pair to break in. I have a pair of Jaden boots. They're a Hello Kitty Jaden boot. And I can't break them in to save my life. I'm not going to get rid of them because they're so stinking cute and I'll wear them for short periods, but I can't break them in. There's nothing I can do. It's like they're unbreakable in. And I think a lot of it depends on the shoe and a lot of it depends on the sizing of the shoe. Linda says, I always check the soles of my cobbler, says soles can't be replaced because of the bouncing soles. Yeah, you know what? I was actually impressed with how good these soles are on these boots. Because apparently whoever had these would walk like clunk, clunk, because there was more damage on the top than there was on the bottom. And they have really good soles on the bottom, so I felt really comfortable buying these. And these are the second ones that I have bought off of Poshmark, and I have not been... I haven't been let down either time because I don't know. It's just, I think that it's been a really good investment. So if you want a pair or if you're looking for one of those pairs that are hard to find, because another pair that I bought off of Poshmark is I got the original pair of boots that I got back in 1996 and I found them somehow on Poshmark. Now I paid more for those. Those were like $80, but they were the original shoes. Those were the original shoes that I bought in 96. So you can find some cool things. Claire says, I found wearing 2 pairs of socks helps wear them in without making your feet sore. Absolutely. Now, here's the thing is that there is let me see if I can't. There's some socks out there specifically for breaking in Doc Martens, but for the life of me, I don't remember where I bought them from. I think I'll have to show up the link. I'll have to pull up that link. But what it is that there's these socks and they actually have padding built into the sock. Now, Doc Martens has socks also, but I really like Stance socks. I think they're cute and they have the extra padding on the bottom also. And another tip for you is hiking socks, because hiking socks built for hikers they're padded, they're not supposed to sweat, and they will help you break in your boots also because again, it's geared for like long walks and they try to protect your feet. another good idea for a sock. Lauren says, I got double thick socks from Doc Martens directly. Yeah, no, they do have those really super thick socks. But anybody who's, I wear skater socks with mine. Yeah. And that's just the whole thing. It's like if you get like a cute pair of Doc Martens and you want to wear like a thin pair of lacy socks, chances are it's not going to feel very good on your feet. But you have to remember, if these were brand new, all of this leather is just it's leather. It's like cowboys with their chaps. You know, they get a new pair of chaps and they're all stiff, and it's not until they wear them and do they become comfortable. And it's the same thing as this. You have to just keep wearing them and keep breaking down that leather to get this softness that you desire. Now, I tell people all the time, if you have a new pair of Doc Martens and you're having a problems breaking them in, when you're watching TV, if you're sitting there and you're watching the Wham documentary on Netflix, grab your Doc Martens and just play with the leather, move it around. Do that while you're watching TV, and it's going to help make it easier for when you are going to be trying to break them in. Another tip to do it is to get your hair dryer and put your hair dryer right in there, not for a super long time, but just enough to warm up the leather. And the warmer leather is easier to move around. I've had people tell me that they leave their Doc Martens in their car, like if they're during the summer when it's 100 degrees outside, and they get their boots really, really hot and then they move it around. And I've had people tell me that they put them in the oven to warm them up to get it to move it around. Now, the warning on that one is that if you have that intensive heat, there's glue. I mean, it's stitched, but there's glue in here also. And you do not want to melt that glue. So ultimately you want to break in your Doc Martens. You don't want to damage them. So I find that getting the hair dryer, it warms them up without the risk of damaging it. I mean, you don't want to sit there for like 30 minutes and put your blow dryer in your shoe, but you want to just be able to warm it up. So I would grab your Wonder Balm, put it on the outside, put it on the inside, get your hair dryer, warm it up, get those thick socks, put on your Doc Martens, and walk around the house. And walk exaggerating. Be like, go up on your tippy toes, come back down. Go up on your tippy toes and come back down. Because you need to break down that leather in order to make it soft, in order to make them comfortable, in order to make them just your ride or die go-to Doc Martens, and that's the way to do it. Now, I had somebody tell me, they're like, oh, well, I take a hammer and I beat up my Doc Martens. And I'm going to tell you to not do that. And the reason that I don't want you to do that is because I actually damaged a pair of my Doc Martens doing that. I have the white Jaden ones, and those are pretty hard to break in. And I was like, bam, bam, bam. And I bammed it, and it actually cut the little bit of a leather. It cut it like right here. And I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. I didn't really want that. I just wanted to break them in. I didn't want to like ruin my Doc Martens. So I got a little glue and I just put it back together. But don't try to damage your Doc Martens. I've seen TikToks where people run them over with their car. And I think that there's a way to do it that's without too extreme. And that's one of them. Now, another way that I have done it, and maybe next week I will demonstrate it. I'm not 100% sure, but I have frozen my Doc Martens. And when I'm talking about freezing them, the whole thing that you have to do with that is you have to put a bag of water into your Doc Martens. I get a freezer bag and I double bag it. So I use 2 freezer bags, one right inside of the other one. I put them in my shoe. Let me go grab a freezer bag and I'll show you what I do. Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm back. Okay, so what I do is I take a freezer bag like this, okay? And you take it and you put it directly in your shoe. And you want to make sure that the tip of your freezer bag, this right here, is all the way down to the tip of of your shoe. So it's going to be somewhat like that, and then it's going to come up like that. All right, so you have a little opening at the top of your Doc Marten. Now, what you do is you fill it full of water. And I usually fill it full of water, kind of move it around, fill it full of water just to make sure it's full. You zip it up and you put it in the freezer. And I typically leave it in the freezer for 2 or 3 days because I want it to be solid. And what that is doing is that is expanding in the freezer. As the water freezes, it expands and it's breaking down the leather of your shoes. So I pull it out of the freezer a couple of days later and I set it outside. I let it defrost just enough so that I can take out the frozen part as soon as possible because I don't want that condensation on the inside of my shoes. Even though water won't damage it, I just try to avoid it. So I take it out. You have like a little ice foot and then I dry it off on the inside and the outside, and that will break in your Doc Martens if nothing else will. It's something that I only do. I only do if I can't break them in myself. And the reason that I don't do them on every single Doc Martens is because I don't usually have a difficult time breaking them in. And a little word of warning is it's like anytime that you do anything extreme like that, it's always a possibility that you can hurt your boots. I've never had them hurt my boots. I've never had anybody tell me they have, but I always just like to put that little word of warning out there. Now, important, if you're out there and you're like, that is a great idea, I am going to go do that on my patent leather Doc Martens, I'm going to tell you, don't do it. Only do that technique on your leather shoes. It will not work on patent leather and it will damage your patent leather. Don't do that for suede shoes. The water will hurt your suede shoes. If you have one that has designs on it that's really intricate, maybe hand painted or even just any design, I wouldn't do that because I'm just, again, I don't want it to ruin the pattern of your boot. But that is for me, a fail-proof way to break in any good old plain Doc Martens. And it's worked every single time. And I've done them on my loafers. I did my Holly loafers and I did my Hello Kitty loafers, the 1461s. Perfect. They were a little stiff because they have a lot of, they're just a little stiff. And so that worked with that. Now, I was in a Doc Marten store one time and I asked the employees, like, why are some shoes harder to break in than others? It was driving me crazy. And I was, hello, Kathy. And they said that the heavier dyed Doc Martens are harder to break in. So if you get one that, like the white Doc Martens are hard to break in because they're so heavily dyed to get that white. And if you go with more of the natural color Doc Martens, they are easier to break in. So that is how I restored these Doc Martens, and I am super excited to wear them. I have all sorts of things I'm going to be wearing them with. Now, I did get them, like I said, I got them off of Poshmark, so what I'm going to do is I will be cleaning them out with some Lysol wipes. I've got this real thing about buying resale shoes. I don't know why. I do know why. It's because you can't wash them. I can buy clothes and wash them, and I feel like they're clean. But the shoes you can't really wash them. So I will clean them on the inside with some Lysol wipes, set them outside, let them air out, and those babies are going on my feet. And I'm super excited for it. And I'm just super excited. And I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. All right, we're going to talk about something a little bit different. Because you know why? Because we can. And this is a really interesting thing that I'm going to be talking about. And I really would love to have your input on this. But I saw an article the other day that really made me, I agreed with it 100% about that spinoff from Sex in the City. I think what's it called now? It's called hi. It's okay. So it's called and just like that. That's what it's called. And we'll just Linda says the 1460s are a classic. Yes, they are. How you doing, Robert? I just think that maybe we should just let them know what that interesting grinding noise in the back. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Robert was in the back filling up his water. So, Sex in the City, great show. Absolutely love it. I was obsessed with it. I've seen every single episode of every single season at least twice. I've seen the movies, love the characters. I think they were a great representation of women. Um, and it was just really fun to watch. But their spinoff, the whole and just like that, I'm sorry, I cannot stomach I cannot stomach that show. And I am curious, have any of you watched it? Is it it's so bad. Tiggy says it's so bad. I watched today's episode. I think I'm done. Yes. And you know what? And I didn't know if it was just me. I was really curious if I was just being super if I was being super critical. Claire says they were my first pair. I've still got them. Awesome. Yes, 1460s are the actual classic. Now, getting really back to that, did you know that they're called 1460s because their release date was January 14th, 1960? So that's how they came up with the 1460s. There's a little Doc Martin trivia for you. So I thought I was the only one who was feeling this. I thought I was the only one who was like, this is so freaking cringy. I can't watch it. But I was also too, I'm like, well, I don't want to be super critical because you know what? There's not very many shows out there that show and represent women in their 50s. But I'm like, why are they representing them like this? I mean, they're not representing women in their 50s like real women in their 50s. So I came across this article. The best character is Richard Burton, the dog. Yes, I absolutely agree. But I came across this article from Vogue, and it says 50 plus and fabulous, question mark, Carrie and company have been reduced to shadows of their former selves. And I'm just going to read a little bit of this because I thought it was really interesting. It says, it seems that I may have been laboring under the misapprehension, ladies. I thought we had all agreed on one thing. The older you get, the less you care what anyone thinks about you, about saying what you really feel, and asking for what you want. Let me repeat that. It says, I thought we had all agreed on one thing. The older you get, the less we care what anyone thinks of you, about saying what you really feel, and asking for what you want. Most of that youthful self-consciousness ebbs away as you advance in years and not before time. Silly me, turns out the opposite is true, or at least according to the second season of Just Like That. As far as Sex and the City sequel is concerned, women in their 50s are insecure, unable to communicate, and scared of having even the most basic, honest conversation with loved ones. That's something to look forward to then. And I agree. And I think that they absolutely 100% nailed it. These characters that they're representing, that they're saying like, hey, you know what? Everybody, I was fabulous in my 40s. And I'm going to be insecure and a bumbling idiot in my 50s. And I am very insulted by that. And it's not like I'm glad that I found this article, but it really made me feel good that I wasn't alone. I wasn't crazy. And it says, the show is no stranger to criticism with accusation that the original characters are unrecognizable. The new ones are too one-dimensional. And the plot lines like a checklist of issues of the script writers felt beholden of ticking off, rather than exploring any new great emotional depth. And I agree. And it's like everything about it makes my stomach hurt. Tiggy says it is so ageist this episode. I didn't even finish watching it. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, oh my gosh, it's when I heard that this was coming out, I was so excited. I'm like, this is amazing. They're going to show these amazingly strong characters who in their 30s and 40s were, taking New York City by the cojones, and they were just like, this is me. I'm powerhouse. You had Samantha, you had just it was amazing. And they've turned them into this complete misrepresentation of anything that has to do with confidence. We were talking yesterday on yesterday's episode. It was like the whole, like, how do you tell men you're classy? And we got really offended by that. But then we read the list of what they said, and it was like, you have to have confidence. You have to be accountable. You have to have self-respect. You have to have style. And it was, you have to live above the line. I spelt class in the wrong ways, but you know what I'm talking about. And this series is everything that is opposite of that. And it made, Kelly says hi. Oh, I know. I was just playing with you. It was fine. But everybody did say hi. So it is just, again, I don't know. It's like everything that I try to come across, and every ounce of confidence I try to get you to have, that series was like, that isn't going to happen. You know what? You're going to be just insecure. Because I remember the one episode that I watched, because I haven't watched many of them because I don't like to watch TV that upsets me. And this really upsets me because I get really angry. It was the one where Miranda was going back to college, and she goes into this room with all of these people, and she's fumbling around, and she was like, she couldn't figure out her computer, and she didn't know what the cool language was. And she was like standing out, and she was being awkward, and she was saying things that were just cringy. And I was like, why are they representing her? She was the strong attorney. She was the one who was the like, I'm smart, I'm confident. And you know what? It's like when she turned 50, it was like, there you go. All that confidence goes out the window. And to me, it's like, I almost wish that they would stop that series, because they are showing the world what it's not like to be in your 50s. So maybe on our Fridays, we'll do our own episode of just like that. We'll be like, I was going to say, because the original series was called Sex in the City, and I was going to say we could call it Sex on the Internet, but I think that that's already a thing. And I think that perhaps I would get banned off of here. So we can't do that. They made her too progressive. You know what? They made her too bumbling. And here's the thing: if she's exploring her sexuality and she decides to live her authentic life, that's great. But you don't have to lose your persona, and you don't have to lose your strength by doing that. And again, like I always say, it's society thinks that we become inept, and we become boring, and we become dull. And now they're going to think that we become self-conscious, and that we are socially inept, and that we can't do things like other people. So, Linda says, I think it might attract the wrong people. Yeah, Linda, I think that if we do something like that, I think we're collectively going to have to come up with a name that's not going to get us on a different website, if you know what I mean. Kathy says, don't go searching for sex on the internet. No, please don't. And we don't want that associated with our very good, strong, independent channel. We don't want to have any sort of misrepresentation of that. So I just thought it was interesting in a really sad way. Again, I am all about representation of women our age. And here's the thing. It's like, I have waited for so long to have a platform to where I can be like, no, it's not like that. It's like something different. And it wasn't until I started on YouTube and it wasn't until I started, especially like my morning live show, that I really feel like you don't have to wait for somebody to offer you the opinion or the opportunity to spread this kind of message, because we can do it ourselves. And tomorrow, when I'm teaching you how to do like TikTok and Instagram and Reels and stuff like this is your opportunity to take that and be like, you know what? I'm going to start changing the narrative. I'm going to start being confident in myself and I'm going to start putting it out there. And I'm not saying that you have to, but if that's something that you've been thinking about doing, that you've been wanting to do, here's your opportunity to do it. And here's the opportunity to be like, yeah, you know what? I am not a bumbling, insecure person who can't talk about her feelings. And I'm so glad that I haven't even started the second season because it would make me angry. Claire says, I haven't seen it, but if I had my current mindset at 20, I would have been unstoppable. I'm loving being 50 so far. I feel like I'm becoming who I am meant to be. Absolutely, Claire. And I 100% agree. And it wasn't until I got into my 50s and I got sober that I realized there was a whole bright, bold world out there that I was ready to conquer. And I felt like I showed up to the party decades late. You know, I show up in my cute little party outfit and I'm all like, hey, this is great. We're going to have so much fun. And everybody at the party was like, oh, yeah, no, you missed that. That was back in our 20s, because right now, you know what, we're on lockdown and we're not supposed to have fun and we're not supposed to wear what we want and we're not supposed to be loud, and don't laugh. You know, laughing's not allowed. Don't make direct eye contact. Get rid of those tattoos. So that is what people expect. And it's up to us to be like, that's not the way it is. 100%. And it's going to be up to us to be like, you know what, just like that. It just isn't like that. That's what we'll call our show. It just isn't like that. I'm going to write that down because that was a good one. It just isn't like that. And according to everything else that I have lost today, oh, I found my pin. When you get sober, you find yourself. Yes. And it's like that. It's kind of like that scary movie that you watch where it's like somebody's trapped inside of a body that's possessed by something else. And you're like, I'm in here. And your addiction's like, I'm in control. And you're looking at your family members and you're like, I'm here. So what did I say it was? It's just not like that. Okay. That's what I said, right? It's just not like that. Ooh, we are on to something. We are on to something, ladies. It's just not like that. And that is going to be our sort of like catalyst of just showing the world that it's not like that. And it can be bright. It can be bold. It can be anything you want, including whatever you want. That's just it. Now, I had somebody reach out to me on Instagram because I did a reel on there and I'm like, about finding your style and finding your style. And she was like, you know what? I'm over 50. I really want to find my style. I have a closet full of clothes. I just don't know how to make it look good. And how I responded to her and how I want to tell you before we go today is, when you're looking for your style, when you're looking for your aesthetic, what you're going to wear, how you're going to represent yourself, how you're going to show the world how you want to look, it's not about the clothes. All right. It's not about, so Sky Pastel says that show is an embarrassment. Those women are rich and healthy and they live in New York City. It's ridiculous to make them look pathetic. Absolutely. And it's their energy that really upsets me. And it's their energy that makes me cringe. So, okay. So getting back to this, and Claire says that was me. So you're sitting there and you're like, I don't know how to make my style. I don't know how to find my style. I just don't know how to put all of those clothes together that represent me. And so what I told her to do, and what I want to tell you all to do today, and how I found my style and how I found my confidence, was it wasn't about the clothes, but it was about how the clothes made me feel when I put them on. Okay. So I can go to the store and I can buy the most expensive item. I can buy the trendiest item. I can buy all sorts of things. But if I put them on my body and I don't feel good wearing them, I represent myself like one of the ladies on And Just Like That. All right. I become pathetic. I become insecure. I become all sorts of things that I don't want to become because I don't feel good about how I'm representing myself. So, my thought, I don't know why the color keeps going in and out, but my suggestion for you today is take a day. Take everything out of your closet and categorize them. Categorize them as far as like, oh, I love this. I wear it all the time. I feel great. Fine. Put that in a pile because you're going to come back to that. Put it in another one where it's like this no longer fits me. If it no longer fits you, it's gone. Put it in a Then you're going to separate things like this was like I bought it because it was trendy. I don't know if I really like it. Those you are going to be you're going to try them back on. You're going to try them on when you're in a loving mood to yourself, and you're going to see if you like them now. If you don't like them now, you got to get rid of them. But you have to go through your closet. You have to put things on. You have to be able to look at yourself objectively and be like, how does this make me feel? If it makes you feel strong, if it makes you feel good, if it makes you feel beautiful, if you like the way it looks, if you're like, yeah, you know what? I could wear this. This is awesome. Keep it. It doesn't matter how old it is. It doesn't matter if it's in trend. It doesn't matter about any of that. It only matters what you think. Now, you have your closet all cleaned out and you have things in there that you like, that you love, that you wear, that fit. I want you to start looking at for inspiration. And if you're like me and you love the free people vibe and all of that, even if you can't afford it or if you can't wear it, whatever it is, keep looking at their website and get ideas for outfits that you like, and then figure out how you can make that outfit look good on you. And it's not necessarily, again, the aesthetics, but how can you incorporate that outfit to make you feel good about yourself? Because I see cute outfits all the time and I can buy them, I can put them on, and I'll be like, that just did not give me the vibe that I want. But I can be out thrifting and I can find something similar that fits my body perfectly, that fits my energy. And all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is awesome. This is me. So look for inspiration. And when you're looking at it, don't look at it so much of like, that's going to make me look thinner, or that's going to make me look younger, or that's going to make me look like this, or that's going to make me look like that. Look at it like, oh, I like that. Yeah, no, I like how that portrays. I like the message that it gives. I like the energy that this is going to give me. And that's the clothes that you should wear. Don't wear the clothes that are going to try to transform you into something you're not. Find the clothes that absolutely embrace who you are and make you flourish. Period. End of story. I am not, and that's just it. And this goes for women of any age, in any body type. I mean, I'm shorter and I'm older, and I find clothes that make me feel good about me. Sometimes my clothes, I'll see something online, I'll buy it, and the bib of my overall gubs up to my chin. You know what? It was cute online. It's not for me. I'm not going to knock myself down. I'm not going to tell myself I'm bad because I'm short. I'm just going to keep on looking, and then I'll find something that fits me. And also too, if you buy something and you're like, well, I can make it work. I can do this. I can try to do that. Don't keep it. You know what? Have your closet filled full of things that no matter what kind of mood you're in, you can go in, you can just grab it out, and then you can wear it, and you don't have to worry about trying to make something. You don't have to worry about trying to make yourself like something. That's what I'm trying to say. Excuse Excuse me. So tomorrow, we are going to do social media tomorrow. We're going to find some sort of, I don't know. I just know there has to be something out there like an app or some sort of like true crime thing that we can solve. I saw this thing on People magazine of like real life cold cases, and I'm like, maybe we can solve one of those. But it made me really sad because there were really people who like really got disappeared and families that were really missing their loved ones, and I would rather do this like as a fun thing and not have to like really dive into the pains of other people. I mean, that's just what that's just where I'm thinking. So I appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out with me. I know it was a little bit of a rocky start because you know what? I've had a little bit of a rocky day. But just coming on here and hanging out with you always makes me feel better. And I hope that you enjoyed the last hour with me because you know what? I've enjoyed the last hour with you. So we have our new TV series called It's Just Not Like That. And we are going to dispel the myths of what people think about women over 50. And we are going to show that it's just not like that. And Kathy says, unsolved mystery. Yes. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to find something, Kathy. We're going to do something like that because I think it would be fun. And it might be something that we incorporate more into other we might like visit it for a little bit each and every day. We might save it to just Fridays. It's really going to depend how this plays out, but I think it sounds like a lot of fun. So I'm going to go walk my dog. I got all sorts of stuff we have to do today, but I do want to tell you each and every single one of you, how much I appreciate you. I love our hours together. We are have more fun tomorrow. Claire, I hope that you enjoyed your first live here. It's been great having you, and I hope you come back every single day. So until tomorrow, remember, be bright, be bold, be brave. Do not listen to society. Let your inner light shine. Turn up your pilot light. Don't turn it down. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.